Manchester United's summer revolution, Gyokeres, Leao, and the battle for elite talent. Picture this. Manchester United fans have been dreaming of world-class attackers for years. Someone who can bang in goals week after week. Someone who can terrorize defenses with pace and skill. Now, it looks like those dreams might finally become reality as the Red Devils target not one, but two incredible talents. But hold on, it's not going to be that simple. When has anything ever been straightforward at Old Trafford these days? The transfer window is heating up, and United are making some bold moves. Victor Gyokeres has reportedly changed his mind about joining the Red Devils, while Rafael Leao has emerged as their primary target for the wing. After scoring an incredible 54 goals in 52 games last season for Sporting CP, Gyokeres is the striker everyone wants. Meanwhile, Leao has been tearing up Serie A with AC Milan, and now United want to bring him to Manchester. Arsenal thought they had Gyokeres. Milan want to keep Leao, but United are determined to get both deals done. The question is, can they pull it off? The Rafael Leao bombshell, United's new primary target. Before we dive into the Gyokeres situation, let's talk about the latest bombshell that has United fans buzzing. Rafael Leao has become Manchester United's primary target this summer, and they're planning a giant bid to bring him to Old Trafford. Who is Rafael Leao? He's one of the best wingers in Europe, and Jamie Carragher wasn't joking when he called him absolutely devastating back in 2023. The Portuguese star has been incredible for AC Milan since joining them in 2019. Here are the numbers that tell the story. 70 goals and 62 assists in 260 appearances for Milan. That's not just good, that's world-class. In the 2024-25 season alone, he scored 12 goals and provided 13 assists in 50 games. For a winger, those are striker-level numbers. But what makes Leao special? It's his pace, his skill, and his ability to create something out of nothing. At 26 years old, he's entering his prime years. He's won Serie A and the Supercoppa Italia with Milan, and he's been a key player for Portugal, helping them win the UEFA Nations League in 2024-25. United have already been in touch with Leao's representatives. They've made it clear they want him at Old Trafford. The plan? Submit an initial offer of around £60 million once they sort out their player sales. But here's the problem. Milan value him at around €100 million, which is about £85 million. That's a big gap between what United want to pay and what Milan want to receive. Bruno Fernandes backs his Portugal teammate. Here's something interesting that shows United's interest in Leao isn't just about his stats. Bruno Fernandes, United's captain and Portugal teammate, knows Leao very well. They played together at Sporting Lisbon, and Bruno has been singing his praises. Speaking to Sky Italia recently, Fernandes said, "I met him as a kid at Sporting Lisbon. He came up to the first team with me. He is a boy with an enormous talent that we all hope will become stronger every time because we know how much talent he has." That's high praise from someone who knows what it takes to succeed at United. Bruno added, "He has had his moments, but I still believe that he is a phenomenal player who can give us something more. When your captain is backing a signing, it usually means the club is serious about getting it done." Fernandes sees something special in Leao, and that endorsement could be crucial in convincing the Portuguese winger to make the move. The competition, Bayern Munich, want him too. United aren't the only big club interested in Leao. Bayern Munich are also in the race, which could complicate things. Bayern can offer Champions League football, something United can't provide after their terrible season. But United have some advantages. The connection with Bruno Fernandes is huge. Playing alongside a fellow Portuguese star who he knows and trusts could be appealing to Leao. Plus, the Premier League is arguably the most exciting league in the world right now. The question is, will United's £60 million opening bid be enough to start serious negotiations? Or will they need to go much higher to compete with Bayern and meet Milan's valuation? The Gyokeres saga, from Arsenal to United. Now let's talk about Victor Gyokeres and the transfer saga that has everyone talking. The Swedish striker has done a complete U-turn on his transfer preferences, and it's got United fans dreaming of finally solving their striker problem. Just weeks ago, reports suggested Gyokeres wanted to join Arsenal. The Gunners could offer him Champions League football, something United simply can't provide after their disastrous season. It looked like United had missed out on another top target. But here's where it gets interesting. Sources close to the player say he's now open to a move to Manchester United. Why the change of heart? The answer lies in his relationship with Ruben Amorim. Remember when Amorim was managing Sporting CP? He worked closely with Gyokeres and helped turn him into one of Europe's most feared strikers. That bond between manager and player might be the key to getting this deal done. The question is, can United actually afford him? United's double deal, the financial challenge. So United want both Gyokeres and Leao. That's ambitious, but can they afford it? Let's break down the numbers. Sporting CP want £86 million for Gyokeres. Milan value Leao at £85 million. That's £171 million for just two players. Even for Manchester United, that's serious money. But United have a plan. They're not just going to throw money around like they have in the past. This time, they're being smart about it. First, they need to sell players. The list includes some big names: Jadon Sancho, Antony, Alejandro Garnacho, and Marcus Rashford. These sales could raise significant funds to help pay for their new signings. The strategy is clear: sell first, then buy. It's the opposite of what United have done in recent years, and it shows they've learned from their mistakes. For Leao, they're starting with a £60 million bid. That's $25 million short of Milan's asking price, but it's a starting point for negotiations. If they can get Milan to come down to around 70 to 75 million, they might have a deal. For Gyokeres, they're hoping player sales will give them the funds to meet Sporting's £86 million asking price. It's a lot of money, but for a striker who scored 54 goals last season, it might be worth it. United's master plan: patience is key. Manchester United aren't rushing into anything this time. They've learned from past mistakes where they've thrown money around without a proper plan. This summer, they're taking a different approach. First up is Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. United have been working on a deal worth over £60 million for the Cameroonian winger since the start of June. Once that's sorted, they'll turn their attention to clearing out players they don't want. The big clear out: who's leaving Old Trafford? For United to afford both Gyokeres and Leao, they need to sell players. The club has identified 4 main targets for departure, and some of these names might surprise you. Jadon Sancho is the obvious one. He never really settled at United and spent time on loan at Borussia Dortmund. His wages are huge, and moving him on would free up significant funds. Antony is another player who hasn't lived up to expectations. United paid £85 million for him, but he's struggled to make an impact. Getting even half of that back would help fund new signings. Then we have the controversial ones: Alejandro Garnacho and Marcus Rashford. Garnacho is a young talent who many fans love, but United are willing to sacrifice him for the greater good. Rashford, meanwhile, has been at the club his whole career, but his form has been inconsistent. These aren't easy decisions, but United are being ruthless. They want to build a squad that can compete at the highest level, and that sometimes means making tough choices. The sales of these 4 players could easily raise £150 to £200 million. That would more than cover the cost of Gyokeres and Leao, with money left over for other signings. The Højlund situation: a £64 million question. Here's something that might shock United fans. Despite struggling to sign a new striker, the club still expects to sell Rasmus Højlund this summer. The Danish striker cost United £64 million just 2 summers ago, but he's failed to convince Amorim that he's good enough. Højlund scored just 10 goals in all competitions last season. For a striker at Manchester United, that's simply not enough. Amorim stuck with him because there weren't many other options. But now the manager believes the 22-year-old doesn't have what it takes to deliver enough goals. Serie A clubs are apparently interested in Højlund. If United can get a decent fee for him, it would help fund their move for Gyokeres or another top striker. But here's the thing. Is it smart to sell your only recognized striker before you've signed a replacement? It's a risky game United are playing. The backup plans: what if Gyokeres doesn't happen? United's bosses aren't stupid. They know that signing Gyokeres won't be easy, especially without Champions League football to offer. So they're looking at other options too. Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt is someone they like. The French striker had an impressive season in Germany, contributing 34 goals and assists in 48 appearances. But there's a problem. Frankfurt want £84 million for him. United see Ekitike as a gamble. He's young and talented, but is he worth that much money? The club's chiefs don't think it's sensible to spend that kind of cash on an unproven player at this level. So what's the alternative? United are now considering more experienced, proven strikers. Agents are already offering them new options to think about. These might not be the glamorous signings fans dream of, but they could be the practical choices the club needs. The Cunha deal. Already getting things done. While everyone's talking about Gyokeres, United have already been busy in the transfer market. They've completed a £62.5 million deal to sign Matheus Cunha from Wolves. Cunha is versatile. He can play as a striker, but he's also comfortable on the wing or as an attacking midfielder. It's exactly the kind of flexibility Amorim wants in his squad. The Brazilian showed his quality at Wolves, and United fans should be excited about what he can bring to the team. This signing shows that United are serious about improving their attack, even if they can't get their first-choice targets. The Arsenal factor. Why Gyokeres changed his mind. Let's go back to that U-turn we mentioned earlier. Why did Gyokeres change his mind about Arsenal? There are a few reasons that make sense. First, Arsenal are reportedly prioritizing Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. They're working on a £60 million deal for the Slovenian striker. If Arsenal gets Sesko, they probably won't need Gyokeres anymore. Second, the connection with Amorim is huge. Players often want to work with managers they trust and respect. Gyokeres knows what Amorim can do for his career because he's already experienced it at Sporting. Third, maybe United made him an offer he couldn't refuse. We don't know the details, but money talks in football. If United are willing to pay him more than Arsenal, that could be the deciding factor. The timeline. When could this all happen? So when might United fans see Gyokeres in a red shirt? The timeline isn't clear, but here's what we know. United's preseason starts at the beginning of July. They're going on a tour to the United States in the middle of the month. In an ideal world, Amorim would want Gyokeres signed before then so he can integrate him into the team early. But that might be wishful thinking. United need to complete the Mbumo deal first. Then they need to sell players to raise funds. Only after that can they make a serious move for Gyokeres. Could be weeks or even months before this saga reaches its conclusion. United fans will need to be patient, which isn't always easy when you're desperate for new signings. The bigger picture, building for the future. This transfer window isn't just about signing Gyokeres or any other individual player. It's about United building a squad that can compete at the highest level again. For too long, United have made signings that didn't fit together properly. They've bought players without a clear plan. This summer feels different. There's a strategy behind the moves they're making. Amorim knows what kind of players he wants. He knows how he wants his team to play. The signings they make need to fit that vision, not just be big names that sell shirts. That's why the patient approach with Gyokeres makes sense. If they can get him, great. If not, they'll find someone else who can do the job. What this double signing would mean for United. If United can pull off both the Gyokeres and Leao signings, it would transform their attack completely. Let's think about what this would look like. With Leao on one wing and potentially someone like Bryan Mbeumo on the other, United would have pace and creativity on both flanks. In the middle, Gyokeres would give them the clinical finishing they've been missing for years. Bruno Fernandes would love playing with Leao again. They have history together from Sporting Lisbon and Portugal, and their understanding could create some magical moments at Old Trafford. For Ruben Amorim, it would give him the attacking weapons he needs to implement his preferred style of play. The Portuguese manager likes his teams to play with intensity and creativity, and these signings would provide exactly that. But there's pressure too. If United spend this much money on two players, they have to deliver immediately. There's no room for a slow start or adaptation period. Fans will expect results right away. The Premier League is unforgiving. If Gyokeres and Leao don't hit the ground running, the criticism will be intense. United can't afford another expensive mistake like they've made in recent years. The questions that remain. As we wait for this transfer saga to unfold, several questions remain unanswered. Will Sporting CP lower their asking price for Gyokeres? Can United raise enough money from player sales? What happens if Arsenal come back in for the striker with a better offer? And perhaps most importantly, is Gyokeres the right fit for what United are trying to build? These questions will be answered in the coming weeks and months. For now, United fans can only hope that their club finally gets this transfer window right. The bottom line: a summer that could change everything. Manchester United are swinging for the fences this summer. Victor Gyokeres and Rafael Leao represent the kind of signings that could transform the club's fortunes. But it's not just about the quality of these players, it's about the statement United are trying to make. For too long, United have been seen as a club in decline. They've made poor signings, overpaid for average players, and failed to compete with the best teams in Europe. This summer could change all of that. Gyokeres changing his mind about joining United shows that the club still has pulling power. The connection with Ruben Amorim could be the key to making this deal happen. Meanwhile, Leao becoming their primary target shows they're thinking big and aiming high. But United fans shouldn't get too excited just yet. These are complicated deals that will take time to complete. Player sales need to happen first. Negotiations with Milan and Sporting will be tough. And there's always the chance that other clubs could swoop in at the last minute. What's clear is that United are taking a more sensible approach to transfers this summer. They're not just throwing money around hoping for the best. They have a plan and they're sticking to it. Whether that plan includes both Gyokeres and Leao remains to be seen, but the ambition is clear. This could be the summer that changes everything for Manchester United. Or it could be another case of hope turning to disappointment. Either way, it's going to be fascinating to watch. United fans better buckle up for what promises to be the most exciting transfer window in years.